call, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the Pimp Slap POD, Mike M.
We are live and you are here. Let's go, Billy Bridge. How you doing, Dutch? What up, brother? Scoutser, what's up, brother? LJ from the HLJ.
Mike, man, happy to be here, man.
T on the ones and twos, -7.5, the official number we'll use, and the lines move 2 points. And this is not a show to be late for.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping! What up, what up, what up? Let's get this show going, baby. It's Last Call, Pub Sports Radio. We're rocking and we're grinding today. And speaking of grinding, our boy T, happy birthday to him. Give him a nice birthday shout out for me, as well as the rest of the gang at Pub Sports. Appreciates all the hard work that young man does. And he deserves himself a fantastic birthday. So hope he does just that and gets it done. And in the meantime, I think we're going to be roughing it here. I can't seem to find the graphics package. And I'm going to say this because the graphics package isn't out there. So we'll suffer through it together collectively. And at least let me get that play off the screen there as we do this thing here. It looks like I'm going to be rocking not just the plays and the details, but I'm going to be trying to keep us moving on track with the background as well here. And let's see if there even is a background out there at this point here. Let's talk about this thing. Whatever. We're going to move forward. It is what it is. I'm not going to let it slow us down because you can't slow us down. We had ourselves a night last night, boys and girls. And if you joined us, then you know damn well it was a fantastic spot. Not just on my card, but of course our guy coming through as he does on Tuesday. Shout out to Billy Briz at himself. I want to say it was a 4-1 night. Only one he fell short on was the 30-footer with Steph Curry. He ended up dropping in there at 29 feet, I think was his max. So he couldn't get it done. But hey, that's okay, man. It was a fantastic night all around. And you guys have found the right spot. It's Last Call. We're rocking and rolling tonight. It's Pub Sports. It's the week before Christmas. And there's a lot of fun to be had tonight, including our guest, our Wednesday guy that comes in here rocking and rolling, giving everybody looks to cook the books, in LJ from H-Town. So super excited to get into the NBA with my guy, LJ. I can't wait. And we have a smaller NHL card today. So the benefit of us being able to break down and get into the weeds a little bit more with this large NBA card we have tonight. I want to say there's like 14 games out there tonight in the NBA. We've got a couple of college basketball picks as well. We had a nice night last night on the college hardwood. I think the two of us had swept the board. So with our college basketball looks out there. And that's the way it should be. We're trying to get back in the groove, shake off some of that rust that we had from last week and try to get it rocking. So appreciate everybody that's here rocking with us tonight. As I mentioned before, I'm trying to figure this background thing out, but look, it's not in the cards today. Just not in the cards. If it's not in the cards, it's not in the cards. And I wish I could take this goddamn overlay off here. There we go. There we go. Maybe it is in the cards. There we go. At the very least, we'll look at this thing here and see what it looks like. But appreciate everybody dropping in. You guys know what's up. I know we're getting out of work. We're getting into that holiday season. We might have some after hours holiday parties to go to for work, for family, for friends. But it means a ton to have you guys come here and hang out with us and rock tonight. So shout out. We've got the members, Justin McGalvey, back and rocking. Philly Eagle Flyer. New members there, our boys. Loopy, you too, says, got some bangers tonight. Loopy, share them in the chat, man. You guys know what's up. I ask you to do 3 things out there. 1, make sure that you hit that thumbs up button for us. Give us the thumbs up on YouTube. Help us grow and promote the brand. 6 p.m., Last Call. Big market to crack into, and we need everybody to show that love and support. If you're tailing us, if you're sharing your chat and your plays out there, if you just like what you're hearing, at the very least, give us that thumbs up. The second thing we ask, get yourselves a pen and paper, write these plays down. Not just that I share, the panel, our guest like LJ tonight, he's been banging bookies over the head. You don't want to miss that. And of course, you guys in the chat. And then the third thing we ask you to do, share your plays in the chat. Let's all get the winners here. We all want to get our eyes on the same goal, the same prize, and that is to take that bookies money. And it starts not just here, but everybody collectively making it happen. So let's get this thing rolling here. AOD says, Mike M, Mike the Machine. AOD, my guy, thanks for coming in. Says, smash the effing like button for our guy. Let's go. I appreciate that. There's Caddy Daddy. Get that chalk ready for these bookies. Mike, Let's go. We're gonna do some pimp slapping tonight. I'm excited. Unlucky Charms says the Timberwolves money line. Unlucky Charms, we're going to cover that game. J Smooth 16 says, let's get paid money. Mike, let's do that. Let's get paid. Let's make it happen. There's Keith says, what's up, Mike? And let's cash these plays. Let's go, everybody. Let's go indeed. Nanya, appreciate Nanya dropping in. There's Michael Johnson, Whack Prescott, Caddy Daddy's got a little 3-ball parlay here. He's got Brunson 2+3s, Cam Thomas 2+3s, and Bridges 2+3s at a +115 spot tonight. Love the creativity. There's a little 3-ball parlay. I like that one there. Let's go. I hope you cash that, Caddy Daddy. And there's Joseph Thompson giving it the bangers out there. He had a nice day yesterday, a 2-1 spot off the 2-0 the day before that, and he's got his top plays out here. Here's his top 2 plays. He likes the Villanova Creighton game over 141, and then the La Tech Seattle game over 134.5. Love the looks, Joseph Thompson. Thanks for sharing your hard work with everybody here. We're all going to get that cash with you tonight, my guy. There's Mel. Arizona State money line at +150. Michael Johnson says, anyone look at the St. John's game? I did look at that game. I'm going to have a play on that spot for us tonight. We'll talk a little bit more about that. There's Clint Zerline says Seton Hall +8, Oklahoma 3.5 with the question mark. Interesting. We'll see what that thing's there. Anybody in the chat wants to drop in there and share those looks. We'll talk about it. UConn first half money line on a parlay for Nunya. Jay Peasy. What up, Jay Peasy? And there's Jacqueline. Jacqueline, happy holidays to you. Thanks for dropping in. Mike Wilkerson. Don Play says, Nunya, I'm thinking about putting Baylor +1.5 first half on his card. And here we go. Here we go. We got everybody. We're caught up. We're ready to rock. There's Gerardo Hernandez. Says, sup, Mike? I went 3-0 in soccer this morning. Damn. I didn't have anything this morning. I was really struggling this morning to get things going. I had a late night last night. Did a little impromptu live spot with the boys out there and made a lot of cash. Took a big Golden State money line down at +650. So that was a lot of fun to live bet that game. But anyhow, we're going to get going here. We'll recap the day. You guys know how this thing works. It looks like we are going to be graphic-less today, so I'm assuming that's the official word, but it don't matter. It's about sharing this information and getting the plays out there. That's what we got to do today. That's first and foremost. The graphics are important, but it's more important to cash these bets. So let's go through this card from yesterday. It was a 7-3 day yesterday. I was pretty jacked up about that. The Boston regulation spot, too good to be true. That line was falling. Here's one of those situations, and it's so easy when you have the hindsight of 2020, right? The benefit afterwards of being able to tell. But that line for the regulation spot with Boston did nothing but fall from the time they opened it. So there's an impact of what that line movement does and giving you that tell on that sign. I still fell into the trap. I thought the Boston revenge or the Boston bounce back spot was real, and it was not. It took a big L. But we did cash with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Where's our guy? All I asked him to do is come back. Hey, if you want to talk to me about it being a blowout, hey, that's fine. Just come back. Real deal, Prime. Where are you? That was a blowout, indeed. And it was a blowout for the Columbus Blue Jackets. We talked about that. If you're a home favorite after you're on the road against the Arizona Coyotes, it is now an 0-8 trend. We will keep our eyes on that and monitor that next little gem when that comes out. But that was a +165 spot for Columbus. The New York Rangers got that cash for us. But Cashville, sadly, did not get the cash for us, and neither did the Ottawa money line. Man, that Ottawa game, we talked about that coach's angle there with the new coach. I heard a bunch of people talking about it too, so I guess the secret is out, and indeed it was. They came out to a blazing 0 lead on them boys, and then guess what happens afterwards? They puke it up, and they lose the game. Disappointment, to say the least, but whatever. We move forward. We did smash that Memphis -3.5. That was a comfortable smasher. We talked about this UCLA game, the over 139. Oh, and by the way, not only is the trend active again tonight, but what we talked about the average total in that trend is 148 points. How many points did we get last night? 148 points. Dot on with that one out there. Brook Lopez under 5.5 rebounds. He had himself 5 rebounds. Golden State +6. We got the +6, but man, oh man, that was a lot of fun to catch that live money line spot there at the end. And then Curry over 29.5 points. Man, he went beast mode in the end of that fourth quarter going into overtime and literally put the team on his back to get it done. So that's how you go 7-3. That was a productive day. We needed that one out there, and we're going to need to do it again. It's all yesterday's just that. Yesterday is yesterday. So there you go. It's last call. We're on show 41 already. Can you believe this thing here? And there's that record sitting right on top of my big forehead. So let's go. Let's talk about this game here. It's going to be a lot of fun to break this card down. We've got 3 NHL games. So it's a small little schedule here for the NHL, but that doesn't mean there's not value. We are not devoid of value on this card. And we've got 2 7:30 games. So we'll move quickly through these because there is a lot of basketball to get to, and get to it we must. But we'll talk about this first game on the agenda tonight. Look, short, sweet, simple, to the point. I'm taking these Washington Capitals tonight, and I just feel like it's too much of an opportunity not to. First of all, we've got the New York Islanders in a back-to-back spot. We also know the New York Islanders have Varlamov that looks to be the starting goaltender at 6-4 on the season. The other side of things, we have Kemper for the Washington Capitals. Not a big fan of that particular goaltending situation, but if you look at this cash flow, I know we don't talk about this a ton in hockey, but we're not seeing any movement. It's pretty much a 50-50 split with no movement. So the books have this thing pegged pretty much where they want this thing to be. And if you start breaking this thing down and looking at Varlamov in goal for the Islanders, he's allowed 3 or more goals in 8 of his last 8 starts. So he is definitely getting the sunburn on the back of his neck. He's let 4 goals or more in 5 of those 8 starts. It certainly is going to be a revenge-minded opportunity for Kemper as well. The last time he played the Islanders last month, he let 3 goals in on 21 shots. But since then, this young man has been battling. He's 60 of 63 saves for a 95.2% save percentage in his last couple of games. He's got back-to-back quality starts, meaning he's made over 92% save in those games. And for only the second time this season is he riding that back-to-back spot. So he's looking to get 3 wins in a row. The motivation is 100% there, I think, for this spot here. And of good, I mentioned the Islanders. Islanders coming off of that game, right? They're in a spot where, who they just go out there and play? They just played Edmonton. It was a battle, and this is that second game of a back-to-back with the travel. So I love this Washington Capital spot for me. That's probably one of my favorite spots on the card, and we're going to cash that. That's going to be the first official play. Yeah, Nasty Nate. Providence smashed Marquette. I was thinking about you when I saw that score because I was on the fringe of taking Marquette, and it didn't make the card. So I was excited to move past that one. And I thought about rocking the Providence hoodie today in your honor, my guy. So I kept it away, though. Good thing we didn't throw it out. We talked about that yesterday. We kept it in position, and it's ready to go. So all good. Let's go. Let's talk about this next game. Listen, 3 games in the NHL card, 3 official plays on the NHL card for us. So we just talked about that Capitals game. Let's go to the next 7:30 game that we're going to talk about here. We're looking at this Detroit-Winnipeg spot, and we've got Raymer in goal for the Detroit Red Wings. Why? Because everybody's hurt. They've got the issue with Lyon came in there. We talked about him being the call up there, kind of looking to do a 3-man rotation, and he had earned the right to be in every other game type of goaltender. Hurt. Ville Husso, yesterday, hurt. Or 2 days back, I'm sorry, hurt. So now we've got this third stringer in Raymer, and I think what's important about that is, first of all, he's 2-4-2, right? He's got a 90.7 save percentage. Detroit's lost 3 games in a row. And now you've got this situation with this goaltender where you don't have anybody left to go out there and play goaltender. They're going to literally be calling the peanut vendor out there to have the helmet on and put the pads on. And so in a situation like that, I feel very confidently that what you see out there is you see a defensive-minded game where they don't want to let those odd man rushes up there. On the other side of things with Winnipeg, we've got Brossoit in goal. And at a 3-3-1, 90.9% save percentage, certainly a competent and capable goaltender to go out there and get the job done. But it's been Hellebuck's year. Hellebuck is the guy. He's the number 1 starter for Winnipeg. But what we're seeing is, with Brossoit coming in there, he is a plug-and-play type of component out there. His last couple of games, 72 saves on 75 shots for a 96% save percentage, 6-1-1 in his last 8 games out there for this guy. So firing bullets, kicking ass, and taking names. And I think that's what we see here tonight with this guy, with the goaltending side of things here, is a defensive-minded game. They've got the number 1 goal scorer for the Winnipeg Jets out of the lineup. Again, he's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. The other side of things, the number 1 goal scorer for the Detroit Red Wings out of this lineup. I mean, maybe it's oversimplifying it, but the under 6.5, 100% made my card. And I think it's an opportunity for us to cash this thing comfortably. So second play of the day, we will take the under 6.5 in the Detroit Red Wings Winnipeg Jets game. And then the third game we're going to talk about here, the Seattle Kraken Los Angeles Kings, the late night special. These are 2 TNT games, so they are going to get some national TV attention. And I think that's where these boys come to play here. We've got the Seattle Kraken with the court and goal at 5-5-8. This guy is brutal. The other side of things, though, we've got the best goaltender in the league in Cam Talbot at 13-5-2. But again, we've got a situation where we just had a team play yesterday. They played yesterday. They comfortably beat the San Jose Sharks 4-1, but it's the San Jose Sharks. The previous time that they played the Seattle Kraken was just 2 games back, and they won against those boys 3-2 out there. The under has been a thing when they play subpar opponents. It's like they just completely shut down the other opponent in its entirety and get that thing to be 2 goals or less. Also, when you've got your previous opponent was either Dallas, Toronto, Detroit, or San Jose, 11-35 to the under, and it's going under by 1.25 goals as well. So the under 6.5, third official play on the card. I know I was looking at Wednesdays and thinking Wednesdays were an over day, but look, the numbers show me these are the spots to play tonight. I think these are the right spots for us to get there. Detroit, I don't think there's much goal scoring going on there. And I think the Kings are going to be exhausted with the second half of the back-to-back. Does Seattle even potentially win the game? Wouldn't surprise me. I see a ton of people thinking, you know what I'm going to do with this LA Kings team? I'm not going to take them at -180. I'll just take them in regulation. That's when they end up going to overtime and losing the game outright. So I suspect a 3-2 type of game. I would not lay the puck line in the spot there. Give me the under 6.5 for the play. That's going to be the third official card. And shout out to everybody that's in here now. We're rocking. We're stacking them up. Everybody's here ready to roll. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Give us the like on the YouTube video, please. It helps us a ton. We want to get there and continue to grow this thing, but we need everybody's help. If you're here listening, make sure you hit that thumbs up button for us and let's get it going there. Nasty Nate says he was at that game in Martian form last night. I can appreciate that. I understand what you're saying out there. Dylan says Isles beat Oilers, revenge for me. LOL. Domplay likes the Clippers versus Dallas today. Interesting spot out there. The Clippers have been kind of quietly trugging along, but we'll get to the NBA shortly. Ian Shaber, there's our guy, Ian. What up, Ian? Thanks for coming in. Fernando Mendoza, let's go. Let's keep it rocking here. And again, we've got a nice little card tonight. So we've got the 3 NHL plays dropped down there. Ricky Levine, what's up, Pimp Slap? I'm on the under again in the Kings game. All right, my guy, let's go. Last night, we talked a little bit about that potentially being an over. And it came through as an under. So let's go. Let's ride. No reason not to ride it back again, especially on the second leg of the back-to-back. Let's talk about some college hoops. Let's lace up the high tops. Let's get on the hardwood, and let's get this collegiate sports moving in the right direction for us. Again, came off a pretty solid day yesterday. Looks like I've got 4 plays down. I'm actually going to add a play as well because I think there's some numbers that I came across that really jumped out to me. And the first game that I'm going to talk to you guys about here is the Xavier game, right? I know you guys asked about it in the chat. Couple of 7 o'clock starts, so we got plenty of time to go through these and get them in and get these bets placed here. So we're running at a brisk pace, and that's very important here. The line opens up with St. John's at -3. We're now sitting at -5.5. 56% of the bets and 71% of the cash on the St. John's. Makes sense. Over 156 is where the total opens up. 89% of the bets, 95% of the cash on the over, and we've seen that move 2.5 points. So they're thinking it's going to be a high-scoring game in this case. I would not be surprised if that was the case, and we do see a lot of points. But I think those points are going to favor the Johnnies here. The St. John's boys are going to go out there and try to bust up this game tonight. I think it's a good spot with these points we're laying down there. If you look at St. John's, they just played Fordham. They dismantled Fordham. Fordham, I got it. But they won by 22 points, laying 12.5. Comfortably got the job done. They did just come off that loss to BC. So that Fordham spot was definitely a bounce back, get right spot. And that's kind of what told me this is the play to get into here, because at the end of the day, you got a team that was motivated off of coming in a bad spot. They're a fast paced team. They definitely like to rebound. They're a rebounding team out there as well. And this is really only the second true road game for Xavier. So the thing about Xavier, if you look at this team and how they got going, a lot of transfer ins. So this is the big step up because they took a bunch of those scrub players from the mid-majors and literally put them into this kind of big D1 type of situation. So the lights are going to be bright for those kids tonight. And I think it's going to be an opportunity for the fast pace to eventually wear away. Do I expect the first half to be close? I do. I think it's going to be a tighter first half. But I think as we'll see here that the depth and the experience that St. John's has on this game in this position is going to be just too much for these guys to handle. They also have the 32nd best 2-point defense. Great stat that I kind of heard about earlier today as well, telling me that you're going to have to force a team to shoot threes a lot, and threes become like quicksand. They start mounting up. You got a fast-paced team. You miss one, they come down, they bang a 2 in there. You come down, you miss another one, they bang another 2 in there. Maybe they get a rebound, and now you're down 6 points like that, and you don't know what the hell happened. You're just trying to figure it out. So give me St. John's tonight. We got the line moving in our direction at -5.5. Love this opportunity. I know it's moved 2 points, but I don't care. I mean, that's what this is all about here, right? We're talking about these games, talking about these opportunities. St. John's lost twice last year to Xavier. Absolutely lost twice last year, but you know the big difference? Coaching changes. Huge opportunity now with a guy that's got the experience against a team like Xavier. I think it's a great spot for him tonight. So we'll see. That's why they got to play the games. But shout out to Kelly V in here rocking with us. Mel says he likes the Jets in regulation at +105. Nasty Nate AA. Let's go. Don plays at Gerardo. What's your best bet? Gerardo Hernandez got the Jets money line as well. Let's go. G, our guy out there. He likes the Sixers -4 as well. Next game we're going to talk about for you guys here. Let's get this thing rolling. Let me make sure I'm on the right page here. Yeah, so this is the next official play that I have for you guys here. I'm looking at the UMKC Eastern Tennessee State game. So this is not, that's a note. That's not a bet, but I like it. So, I would lean to Toledo -4.5 for sure, but we are where we are. So the game that I jumped into is the UMKC Eastern Tennessee State game. And this is the alert that I told you guys about earlier, right? We cashed this game yesterday in this exact spot where we have a home favorite in the South Conference, the Mountain West, or the Pac-12, 87-42 to the over. We talked about this yesterday. Average total that we're seeing on the line is 144 points. The average number we're seeing in the game is 148 points. Absolutely great opportunity. Yesterday, we took the over 76-72, put that at 148 on the peg. Now we're sitting here and we're watching this line starting to fluctuate. So this is one of those little middle of nowhere games that there's not going to be a lot of viewing on, probably not going to see a ton of action on it either. But when I pull up the numbers here, we see the line opened at -3.5 for Eastern Tennessee State, now -4.5. 72% of the bets and 76% of the cash on the UMKC side. And the line has moved towards East Tennessee State. So big flag there. Then you look at the total, 62% of the bets, but 52% of the cash on the over. We have it about a 1 point movement now. So you got a line shop. It does look like the 137.5 is still out there. Let me just double check. It is 137. That's all right. So over 137.5 at -114. Fine number for us. We're going to continue to lock that down. Again, rode the trend yesterday in this conference when you've got a situation with these teams here, 87-42. We cashed yesterday. We might as well go back to it again today. We've got the line movement again in our direction, and there's Joseph Thompson. Got the over. So let's go. Let's rock. Let's talk about this last game I've got for you guys here. Last official play for us in college hoops. And it's a big one here. It's a huge game at MSG. Talk about the bright lights. We've got a battle royale taking place tonight between Baylor and Duke. Double plays here. I added a play because I found some numbers that I absolutely loved, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I was a little nervous at first because of the Tyrese Proctor factor. Still haven't seen the official on whether he's going to be in or out of this game. I'm suspecting that he's not going to be in this game, but what we talked about yesterday, when it came to the college football game, was the overreaction factor, right? We talked about this the day before as well. Do these quarterbacks, do these players mean more than a couple of points? Proctor's a solid, obviously he's one of the best in the country for Duke out there, but is it going to buffer the line that many points if he plays or he doesn't play? I don't think so. Is he a 2-point guy? Potentially, but I still think Duke's to play on this game at the end of the day. If you look at the numbers here, we opened up at -1.5. It's -2.5. I'm going to put an asterisk on that because of the Tyrese Proctor factor. 44% of the bets and 44% of the cash on Duke. And it moved in Duke's direction, even though there's the question mark with their star player. The total opens at 157.5, drops to 152, 46% of the bets and 73% of the cash. I think that's a tough situation for a team like Baylor. Baylor's the number 1 3-point shooting team in the country. Hands down, no question. They're shooting free throws at 3 points at 44.6%. But they're average everywhere else. They're 69th in their defensive efficiency. And the thing about the way Baylor likes to play is they kind of force that funnel defense, makes you have to kind of get off of that 3-pointer line and get into the paint to get those rebounds. That's where Duke likes to play. At the end of the day, for me, I think this is that styles makes fight narrative here where we've got a team in Duke. You got a lower ranked team laying points down here. Somebody knows something, and I think it's the fact that we know that Duke's going to be the spot here. Now, at the end of the day, I know it's one of those situations with the with the points and Proctor, but at the end of the day, not enough for me. You got a Baylor team just took a bad loss to a Michigan State team that kind of suspect. Michigan State's not really consistent when it comes to basketball whatsoever. 88-64. They were a 3.5-point favorite, and they lost on the road. Now they're on the road again, and no chance to really get back home, get the practice in there to get things corrected. They're just going to hope that they can come out there and take down a high-flying Duke team who is running off of 2 wins in a row. Just beat Charlotte on a smackdown, 80-56. They also took down Hofstra, 89-68. Not the best of opponents, but you know what? They had the injury factors. They're showing and building confidence in a spot like that. And again, the back-to-back road trips to me it's just too much, I think, for a spot tonight. Last but not least, I'll give you guys a big number here. When the lower-ranked team is a favorite, they're 63-36 against the spread. The average line we're seeing is 3.2 points, and they're winning these games by 6 on average. So the Duke Blue Devils at -2.5, way too much value. I don't care if Proctor's playing or not. The other guys they got in there have been able to step up and answer the bell. On the other thing that I wanted to give you guys here, the last game that I found here, the last number that I added, this is an official ad for me. Let me make sure the numbers are accurate. Yes, they are. Let's go. Let's talk about this. First half under. We've got a great opportunity for first half under in this situation, regardless of Proctor's status. It's the Madison Square Garden factor. It's a neutral site, right, in Madison Square Garden. But when the total's between 70 and 80 in the first half on a neutral court at Madison Square Garden, the under has hit at over 61%. 53-game sample size. So not that aged 1,000-game sample in the factor, but when Madison Square Garden hosts these games between 70 and 80, it's all about the sightlines. The sightlines are very much different in this neutral situation, and I think it's a great opportunity for this first half, especially if Proctor doesn't play. In fact, Proctor doesn't play, that number's probably going to drop another 2 points. So we'll probably see that thing go down to 71. But I'm riding high on that first half under 73. And I took the Duke Blue Devils -2.5. So we will have an official show ad there. And there's our guy, Justin, with the Stacks POD. Right on time, right on cue for the NBA. Over 233 at +106. Our guy's running hot right now, 118 and 113. 5 games over 500 and moving with another plus money. Look, appreciate you, Justin, for sharing that opportunity out there. Nanya says plus monies. Roll Tide. I like that Bama look there. That's going to be a little late night special. Got to keep it hydrated, boys and girls. It's important to stay hydrated, especially during cocktail season. Christmas season. So let's keep it going. The Chillis likes West Virginia -6.5 versus Radford. Kelly V says Kings add Fiala and Kopitar point NHL. And there's Nunya says La Tech at Seattle over 134.5. I was leaning to Seattle in that game. There hasn't been a ton of line movement. So I'll have to keep my eyes on that thing and see what we get as we get later and later in the day. But let's jump in here. Let's bring on our next guest. We waited long enough to bring this man on here. He's been firing bullets, and last call, he's been nothing but giving you positive opportunities to get that cash. He's stacking up himself a healthy record here. And as soon as I do some record keeping, I will keep it all accountable. And believe you me, he gets the job done like nobody else. He rides on slab. I'm not sure what that means, but he is back there rocking and rolling. Who the hell is that? What's up, Dave? He's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. It's LJ from the H, baby.
How we doing, Mike? How we doing this evening, sir?
We're working through it here. We've got it looks like our guy back there rocking and rolling now in Jose Lamshot Bouquet driving the bus there for us. So we're all over the road right now.
Okay.
How are you?
Hey, I'm good, man. Had a good look at some good games today. Got a nice card to break down. So let's jump into it. See if we can get these people some money.
Let's do just that, because we do have a monster tonight, and it starts at 7 p.m. So we've got pretty much a full late night slate out there. Let's jump in. We'll kind of rip through these things, and I guess we'll start with let's start with the Jazz and Cavs game here. When I looked at this thing earlier today, I've got a couple of plays that I wrote down, and despite it being a big card, I wanted to kind of be a little bit more conservative about the trigger that I was going to pull, waiting to kind of get some of your insight for us here, because listen, man, when you're stacking cash, I don't want to get in the way of that. I want to get that cash myself. So we got this Jazz and Cavs game here. The line opens up at 7.5. We've now dropped to 4.5, and now they're starting to see some threes out there as well. So continuing to drop 55% of the bets and 40% of the cash on the Utah Jazz side of things here. And as far as the total, we're seeing that drop. Interesting drop there because we had a 229.5, now sitting around 225, 72% of the bets, but 54% of the cash on the over. And we're seeing that line start to kind of take that little nosedive there, LJ. What are your thoughts? Do you have any likes in this play here in this game to kick the NBA card off for us, Jazz and Cavaliers? Take it away.
Yeah, when I broke it down, this Cavs are none for me, Mike. Jazz, they're horrible on the road for the most part. 3-10 against the spread on the road. 0-2 on the road versus the East so far. So they don't play well going across, the coast to go to the East Coast. But the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell, I heard he was questionable. I don't know if he's been ruled in yet. Of course, this is a revenge game for him versus his old team. So I don't know if he's going to play or not. He was dealing with an illness. So if he doesn't play, I wouldn't be interested in the game. But Cavs do play early very well. 7-4 against the spread in the first half at home, their last 11 games. So, Kelly just said Cavs, Mitchell out. So, yeah.
Yeah,
if
Mitchell
is out, I don't know what to expect. The Jazz come in here and cover this game now because you're missing a lot of points when you take out Donovan Mitchell. And Garland's out as well. So those are your number 2 backcourt scorers that are out of this game. So you don't know what to expect. But, if you had to make a bet, I lean Cavs just because they still are the better team and the fact that the Jazz are so horrible on the road, but nothing official.
I'm with you. I thought there was just a lot better opportunities on the card. No sense to kind of square peg that round hole with that first game, especially with the uncertainty out there. I would think, if anything, I see the total dropping, and it makes sense that it's dropping because of the player status, but wouldn't surprise me. Just a tough one to read here. I mean, is Mitchell worth the 4 points that they're saying that he is on the line, where the line's moving from 7.5 to 3.5? I think this tends to be an overreaction. I have a feeling, and I said this the other day, these books kind of know about these players, and whether they know before we do. They know way before we do when they're sending these lines. So when they sit there and they see these numbers, you don't see that extreme movement any longer because they're already accounting for that in the line. Now, might it move another point or two? Sure. But at that point, you're chasing the injury report, and I think you almost go the other way in that case. But no official play for me on that one either. Let's talk about a game that I do have a play on here. Talk about my boys here. We'll talk about the Timberwolves and the 76ers. Man, I was back and forth on this game early on today, and then a couple things came across the radar that kind of made me officially pull the trigger. So we've got the the line open at 3.5. It's moved to 4. 47% of the bets and 65% of the cash on the Sixers. Now a half-point movement. The line opened at 224. The back number is now 225.5 out there. 77% of the bets and 52% of the cash on the over. And side note, it seemed like the cash is on the over in every NBA game tonight. So, that scares me a lot because it seems like everybody's thinking there's going to be a lot of points. And when we have these big slates like that, I think people get cooked. So it seems like a very public spot to think about overs, albeit I do have an over that I like. So I look forward to talking to you about that. But the spot that I had originally leaned to in this game, LJ, was an Embiid rebound under prop out there because the big man don't like the rebound out there when it comes against talent and challenge. And I think that we've got a Minnesota Timberwolves team where, he might kind of bow down to it. So it's a lean for me on that side. But the trigger I did pull, LJ, and I want to hear your thoughts on this thing, is I got the 76ers and I got him at -3.5. So what are you looking at in this game? Are you thinking anything in the lines of the Sixers? You looking at the T-Wolves? I know the T-Wolves have been red hot right now. Give it to us.
Yes, they have. But I will lean 76ers just because home favorite coming off a loss is always something that I'm interested to bet on. They're 9-3 against the spread as a home favorite, 7-4 against the spread in their last 10 home games. So 4-2 against the spread versus the West. So a lot of numbers point to the 76ers. And in the first half, 16-8 straight up in the first half, their last 24 games. But first quarter at home, they lost the last 2 versus the Hawks, and I believe it was another team they lost. So the fact that they've lost those last 2 coming out at home, early, I believe that they'll be primed to come out and do things different tonight. But the Wolves, they do have the best record, as we know, 20-5, no injuries, clean slate. They're 7-2 against the spread versus the East. So they played real well versus this conference. But I mentioned the first half with the Sixers, the Wolves are 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 in the first half. So they start off slow, and then they pick it up towards the second half, make that final push to try to cover the spread and win the game. So either team can be in this game, in the fourth quarter for me, Mike. So I haven't came to a trigger yet. I may get to it by tip-off. just to run some more things, but I had to pass it. But it's a strong lead to the 76ers. And I like your under 12.5 rebounds because I think Embiid's going to have to score tonight. They're going to probably keep him off the glass for the most part, but the fact that he can bring Gobert out, that's the handicap for Gobert. He can't defend that perimeter. So Embiid could probably have a nice matchup with him for his points. So his over 33.5 points, I believe is that. He's hit that 7 out of his last 7 games. So if you just want to trust the points, I might as well, and the free throw attempts as well, because he gets a lot of free throw attempts getting at the foul line. So a lot of opportunities for Embiid to get those points, but I do like your under 12.5 rebounds because I believe Gobert will try to keep limited off the boards.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. When you look at the overall, in what Embiid does out there when it comes to the quality of opponent there, he doesn't play against the good guys. He likes to, he kind of ducks out of the way for him. And really the only, even the last time they had the opportunity to play, I know some in the chat said that as well. Kelly V said that out there. No Embiid the last time he had the opportunity to match up with Rudy Gobert. And really the only quality opponent that he matched up with out there in a similar spot was Anthony Davis. And somehow Street Clothes Davis did make it and played that game, but did not get 13 rebounds in that spot. So I think, that kind of was the look where I was thinking it's got to be that spot where they need him to score to be able to stay competitive in this game to get the job done. 2 numbers I came across. The Sixers, 16-0. That's tough to say. 16-0 against the spread at home versus the West when they didn't cover the spread versus the opponent the last time around. So that's a 13.94 point margin. That's a specific revenge opportunity, spread specific against an opponent when they're now at home. And on the other side of things, the Minnesota Timberwolves, 0-12 against the spread when they were a favorite the previous game. Now they're a dog, and the opponent they were favored against in the previous matchup. So interesting spot for 10 points out there as well. So that was kind of an intersecting 0 spot that gave me the confidence to feel like the Sixers was the first official NBA card I'm going to add, or first official NBA play I'm adding to the card tonight, LJ. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go, man. Let's keep it going here. Let's talk about this next game we have on the card. We got the Miami Heat. We've got the Orlando Magic. The line opened at -5. We're sitting at -5. 68% of the bets, 71% of the cash on the -5. Kind of a frozen line. The total opens at 217.5. Now 219.5's out there with 33% of the bets. The public's banging away on the under, but the cash is coming in on the over, and the books are showing concern to the over. 66% of the cash on the over. It's now moved almost 2 full points from the original opening out there. What are your thoughts, LJ? Take it away.
Yeah, division game right here. But the Heat are just getting their players back in the lineup. Hero and Bam played last game. Hero had 25, Bam had 22. So I don't know how they're going to respond now, the fact that they're back in that lineup. And Butler, I believe, was questionable today as well. So you can check that for me, see if he's going to be in the lineup. But as far as the Magic, 3-1 against the spread versus the division, 3-0 at home versus the division, 8-0 at home overall versus the Eastern Conference. So both of these teams, like I say, they know each other for the most part. But the fact that Miami is now getting their roster back together, I believe they possibly could come in here and cover this spread versus Orlando. But the fact Orlando is so good at home, especially against the spread versus the East, I just want to stay off, watch Miami play, see how they respond with the players back in there, and pick another spot for the future. But as far as this game, I just passed.
Yeah, Kelly V said it there. Butler is out. Kevin Love is out. I see Love out, Butler out, Drew Smith is out. And then on the Magic side of things, Joey Ingles is out, Markelle Fultz is out, and Kevon Harris is out. So a lot of shooters getting out there and sidelined in this game. And I still think I kind of like to see points here. I think to the Tyler Hero point spot there, someone's got to step up to fill the void. They're not going to go out there and put up a 50 spot. They're going to get their 100 points in this game. And I think it's a good spot for Tyler Hero to get out there and get those points at 21.5. Nothing official for me on the game either. Again, just thought it was a tricky kind of opening slate. And one of the things that kind of I don't know if you guys feel the same way about this in the chat or not, but sometimes I feel like it's that rush to get the 7:00 bets in there that, I seem to do better the later the card goes on when I have my time. I'm not rushing to try to go out there and spread around 6 or 7 spots. It's like, let me get this one. Let's go and let's take a look at the next slate of cards out there. So let's talk about this next game, though. We've got the Hornets and the Pacers right now. We've got plus 9.5 opening. Now 10.5's out there. So we've got a full point of movement, 51% of the bets and 44% of the cash. have moved on the Hornet side of things, and the line is moving away from them. So just about a coin flip. 249.5 is where the total opened up. We know the Pacers are an over team this year. Now 246.5 out there. So we're seeing this number drop almost 3 full points. 71% of the bets, only 35% of the cash, though, on this over, LJ. Do you have anything for us here?
Oh, yeah, I got a spot in this game. Pacers coming off a loss, 24-point loss. So I'm always going to bet on a team coming off a horrible, embarrassing loss back home versus a team that they know and they've had great success against. Now, the Hornets, they've lost 7 out of their last 8 games. 7-18 against the spread in the first half, Mike. Mind you, the Pacers, 6-2 against the spread, their last 11 in the first quarter at home. Number 1 team averaging 31 points in the first quarter. So that's my play. First quarter, -3.5, Pacers, -110. And I'm just going to get in and get out. I don't have to worry about the rest of the game. I would lean over just because the Pacers put up a lot of points and the Hornets are missing some key players in their lineup as well. So can you trust that they're going to get those points to push that over? I think that's why the sharp money is on the under, because they're thinking that the Hornets probably don't have enough scoring to push that total over. But hey, you never know. The Pacers may come in and cover most of those points themselves because, like I said, they're coming off a 24-point loss at home. So I think they're going to get that taste out of their mouth. So I jumped on the first quarter. Mind you, the Hornets first quarter, 25 points in the first quarter, ranked 29th. Last 3 games, first quarter average, 21 points. So easy cap for me. First quarter, Pacers, -3.5.
First quarter for our guy, LJ, getting it done there, making his first official move for us tonight. Rocking and rolling with this Indy first quarter spot. I like that get in and out of that game there. That seems like that's a crapshoot. Anything could happen there. The longer you sit on that game, the less likely you are to win is kind of how I feel about that one too, LJ. So I like the call a lot. Let's travel north. Let's travel up north of the border, just a stone's throw away from where I live. Quite the drive and haul for you, but let's talk about this Toronto Raptors Denver Nuggets game. The line opened at 5. We're down to 3.5. 63% of the bets, only 24% of the cash on the Nuggets. So seems like it's a public side, but the sharper money's kind of looking on the other way here. The total opened at 227.5. 82% of the bets, 67% of the cash on the over. We went from 227.5 to now 228.5, LJ. And, you look at these two teams here, kind of an interesting spot because we do have the Nuggets. They did take that loss to OKC, but then they went out there and they beat down Dallas. So, interesting look there. On the other side of things, Raptors are home. They're on a nice little home stand. This is their 4th home game in a row. Do you have a look for us here?
Yeah, I got a prop look in this game. But far as the side, I couldn't get to it just because the Nuggets have to prove that they can be the same team at home that they are on the road. And it's just completely different. 5-10 against the spread on the road. So that's just something that's just glaring for me. And the fact that Toronto, like you say, they've been at home, but went through their numbers. First quarter, first half, 1-5 against the spread last 6 games. But they are 4-1 against the spread versus the West. So, hey, they can pull it out at the end of the game. Don't know what I'm going to see. Denver, like I said, they are the better team. If you just wanted to trust that they have the better roster, but you don't know what to expect. Toronto at home. Nuggets, they got to fly across the border, like you say, go through all the customs and all that. Maybe just a lot of distractions is what I'm trying to say. And Toronto may be in the groove at home. They've been there. So Denver struggles in Toronto, like Kelly just mentioned. So all those factors into where I just stayed off the side. But I'm going to get a prop. Scotty Barnes, over 34.5 PRA, -117. Because he's averaging a 41 PRA his last 5 games. And he's hit 35 plus 4 out of his last 5 games. So, Scotty Barnes, I trust he will continue to get that average of that PRA and just I don't want to worry about whoever wins the game. So that's my.
What number did you get there? 37.5?
34.5 PRA.
But I thought you said 4 and I wrote down a 7 and I had to double check with you. So I'm
glad 34.5.
I've got 2 plays on this one here. I looked at this. First of all, I understand the narrative there with how Denver does in Toronto in the travel spot. Western Conference teams are 35-6 against the spread when they're on the road versus an Eastern opponent team that they lost to against the spread the previous time that they played. So big opportunity as long as the line's between -3 and 9.5, 35
Can you
and 6.
repeat that? I'm sorry, Mike. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah. Western Conference teams on the road versus an Eastern Conference team that they didn't cover the spread to the last time they played. When the line's between -3 and 9.5, they're 35 and 6.
35.
So, that kind of takes into that travel spot there when you've got the Western team traveling east and they're in a revenge spread spot, right? With a number that's less than 10, it seems to be a spot where 35 and 6 gets the job done. The other spot that I looked at here is I went to the Aaron Gordon over 13.5 points, -105 number. He's hit the thing 4 of his last 5 games. He got it in Dallas. They were beating Dallas down, and he ended up sitting the entire fourth quarter. So despite that minute shift there, he still was able to go out there and get the job done. Toronto does give up the 20th most points to opposing forwards. But the thing about this is, he likes to play that bully ball, right? You start watching the games this guy plays. There isn't anybody that can kind of go toe-to-toe in a bully ball style. And he's got Murray and Joker throwing the ball to him out there. I think that's either going to keep him open outside the perimeter because you have to D up on Joker and Murray. You probably got a double team Joker. Shit, at this point, you probably got a triple team Joker. So what happens here is you got a guy that's been improving his 3-point metrics. You leave him open out there. He had 2 of his 3 attempts made last game specifically. So there's 6 points in the back right there. If you leave this guy open, he's going to try to bang that 3 in on you. And, the only spot that he didn't get that particular 13.5 line covered in his last 5 games, he only played 13 minutes against the Brooklyn Nets in that game.
Wow.
So difficult spot for him not to get that done. I like the Gordon spot. I took over 13.5, -105. So I double dipped on this play here. I think it's a great spot. I like your Scotty Barnes look here. I might have to get in there. And I was thinking about this game, particularly in the same game parlay arena. So I got to think about how I'm going to pull all that together. So I love the spots there. I think it's a good look. What's up, Sammy Comer? Our guys in the chat there says, what's good, Mike? Sammy, my guy out there rocking with us, smoking mirrors. Let's go. Everyone's ready to rock tonight here. We got 140 plus out there. Guys, hit the thumbs up if you haven't done so already. Hate to say it like a broken record, but it means a ton. It does really make a difference for us. It's the only real measuring stick we have to show that you guys are enjoying what's going on out there, and it helps us to continue to promote the brand. So if you haven't done so yet, hit the thumbs up, like button. We got our guy LJ from H-Town here breaking this NBA card down for us. And let's keep it rolling here. We've got to talk. We got to keep this thing moving. We've got 7:30. We've got the New York Knickerbockers playing the Brooklyn Nets in a little kind of crosstown rival out there. So interesting spot here for us tonight. When you look at the total, it opened at the side was -1. We're now seeing -1.5. So there's a slight tick here since card was put together. 50% of the bets, 28% of the cash on the Knickerbockers. The total opened at 232. Now it's sitting at 232.5, but we're starting to see 233.5s out there. 74% of the bets, 39% of the cash. The sharper money definitely looking to take a whack at this under. LJ, take it away for us.
Yes, sir. Like you said, rivalry right here, division game. Both of these teams are coming off a West Coast road trip as well. But I believe that the Nets can cover this. They're 9-3 against the spread after a loss, 17-81 against the spread overall, 3-1-1 against the spread as a home dog. So I believe they're in a good spot to come in here and cover this over the Knicks. But like I said, the Knicks 4-1 against the spread as a road favorite, so that's pretty good. They're also 7-3 against the spread on the road versus the East. So their trends are just the same as well. So those numbers kind of veered me off to where it's just a lean Nets. I didn't make it official, but I also was looking at Julius Randle's PRA over 40.5, -110. I think that's a little bit too high considering he just had that monster game coming off the West versus the Lakers, and I believe they played the Clippers the night before that. So they're coming back home, man. The Nets, I believe they are more primed for a win. Because like I said, they're better off a loss than the Knicks are after a win because the Knicks are only 5-9 against the spread after a win. So heavy lean towards the Nets, Mike, but I didn't pull the trigger, didn't make it official.
I rocked one in here. I locked on a play on this one, and kind of liking what I'm hearing when you're, the fact that you're not on the side with this one kind of makes me like this spot even better. So I went to the under. I've been taking a beating with some of these Knicks games. They're not playing any defense out there on the West Coast there. It seemed like they were running up some scores. So made me a little nervous, but this is kind of that situation. I know it's not a home game for them, but to be honest, it's not that far either. So at the end of the day, it is that crosstown kind of rivalry spot. When either team has rest and one's coming off a loss as a road favorite, 32-0 to the under. So interesting little simple trend out there, but they got to be facing a conference opponent if they shot less than their season average the previous game. So kind of makes sense. If you're shooting less than you normally do on the season and you're a short favorite, they think it's going to be a tighter game. You see a defensive battle out there. You got a team coming off a road game. You D up. You don't just let them go out there and roll all over you. You settle it down and you shut things down. So the 233.5 spot for me was the angle there. 32-0. It's actually 32-0-1 to the under. So I did rock on that. I'm taking that under in this game. I'm going to give one last shot to these Knickerbockers not to blow this game through the roof here before I start to put them on the ban list. So I did rock with that. Under 233 is the number that's out there now. So I lost a half a point, continuing to move in the direction that I want to see. So I like that spot. I'm going to move it. I'm going to make it happen. And let's talk about this next game. We got a great card here lined up. Still plenty of games to go. Looking forward to hearing what our guy has to say about this next one here, because I'm excited about this game. Kind of one of those where it feels to me like you got the Lakers and the Bulls here. Interesting spot because the Bulls aren't the same team that started off the season. The Lakers had their in-season championship there, and almost seems like they might have started phoning it in. The line opened at -7, now down to 3.5. So there's still a 4 hanging out there, but there's 59% of the bets and 87% of the cash. I can't believe it on the Chicago Bulls. The line opens at 223.5 for the total. Now seeing 224s, even 225s, with 70% of the bets and 70% of the cash on the over, LJ. I'm just finding it hard to believe that the Lakers in this case are, not only dogs, but they're or not only small favorites rather, but they're. I mean, they've moved 4 points almost from the original opening number. Take it away for us.
Yeah, very interesting as well, man. And they don't play too well on the road, so it's interesting. They may know something we don't know, like you just mentioned. The Bulls have been playing well as of late since they've sat Levine down. You know, we already know he's going to get traded. They're just waiting to make the deal. So hey, he's on a mini vacation right now. Kudos to him. But other than that, man, I didn't come to nothing. As far as a side, I got a couple props that I'm gonna throw out there. But like I said, the Lakers 5-9 against the spread on the road, 2-5 against the spread as a road favorite. They're only 2-3 overall versus the East. Now, Anthony Davis is coming home to Chicago. He's from there. So, hey, you may want to look at him. You know, he may have some people in the crowd, may want to have a good game, you know. But other than that, I couldn't get to it, man. Lakers 4-8 against the spread in the first quarter on the road. So they start off very slow. Now, they have the matchup advantage in this game. So they should be able to take advantage of the Bulls as far as matchups in the paint, you know, the size and things like that. But the fact that the Bulls have been playing well as of late, we just mentioned they're 6-3-1 against the spread off a win, 3-2-1 against the spread as a home dog. So both of those are winning records. But all in all, didn't come to a side. But I did have 2 props in the game. Let's start off with the GOAT, LeBron James, over 36.5 points plus assists. He's hit this 5 out of his last 6 games. So I believe that he's going to be able to contribute with the points and dish the ball out as well, because that's what he does. Try to get people involved, you know, and then he'll probably close the deal at the end of the game. But he's a very good team player. I love how he distributes the ball. So I'm going to trust that he gets his points and assists. And other side, we're going to stay on the cash cow. Kobe White, over 34.5 PRA, -130. He's hit the number 5 straight games. They've even raised it up twice because this started at 32. Now it was 33. Now it's 34.5. And guess what? He keeps hitting the number. So until he proves to us that he can't hit this, let's keep cashing. Not to mention the Lakers, they have trouble versus the point guard position. Last couple games, I'll throw this out there. Van Fleet, 34 PRA. Booker, 38 PRA. Luka, 56 PRA. Brunson, 36 PRA. And Vassell for the Spurs had a 45 PRA on the Lakers. So, hey, guys, Kobe White, over 34.5 PRA. And LeBron James, 36.5 points plus assists. Those are my 2 props.
I love it. I love the Kobe White's been just we've been banging that thing up, and as long as they're going to give it to us, let's keep taking it. I love that look there. I'm going to add that one to my card as well tonight. I love, I don't know how I missed that one. I was looking at sometimes you get so many of these games that you forget the simple things there that have just been good to you. And I know they've been good to you, and they've been good to me, and they're good to a lot of us in the chat. So I love the look, and I just like keeping it simple, man. That's it. Let's just go to what works and not try to reinvent the wheel here. Let's talk about this next game. We got the Hawks and the Rockets, your boys, the hometown Rockets here opened at -2.5. We do have some 3.5s, but there's 71% of the bets and 81% of the cash on the Rockets. If you look at the total, it opened at 233. Now it's sitting around 233.5. They're starting to see some 234.5s out there with 65% of the bets and 97% of the cash on the over. Marginal movement at best for all that cash coming on the over, LJ. Then if you look at the money line things here, because it's a tighter number, I'd like to kind of look at that as well. 76% of the bets, 89% of the cash on the money line, open at -130. Now sitting at -138, LJ. Take it away. How are we getting paid on your boys?
Oh, we're getting paid a lot of different ways in this game, Mike.
Yeah.
Actually, a game that I will be attending soon as I get off this with you. I will be heading down to Toyota Center to watch this game live. So everybody knows what I'm on, but let's go through the numbers. Rockets 10-1-1 against the spread at home, 4-0-1 against the spread as a home favorite. And, of course, my trilogy play of the day. Rockets first half, -1.5. They're 8-3 against the spread in the first half in their last 11 games at home. So this is where they play the best, guys. As far as the Hawks, they're horrible on the road. 5-9 against the spread on the road. 3-7 against the spread as a road dog. 6-20 against the spread overall. So very, very horrible team. They're coming off a win versus one of the worst teams in the league in Detroit. So guess what they do when they come off a win? 3-7 against the spread after a win. So I believe they are in a bad situation tonight. And they're ranked 27th in defensive efficiency. The Rockets are ranked number 2 in defensive efficiency. So it's just something that I think the Hawks are not going to be able to come in here and put up 100 points like they usually do with people, but we play defense. And I love Udoka has changed the mentality of this team. I keep expressing it enough. So I'm on the first half. I didn't take the full game because, hey, I just like to trust the numbers that's working for me. Hey, I don't mind the full game. I believe the Rockets will still win the game, but hey, they can win by 1 bucket and we lose the spread. So hey, that's how things work sometimes. Let's just trust that what's been working. So first half, -1.5 for me. And the 2 props that I'm on, we're going to jump on my guy, Jabari Smith, over 24.5 PRA, -122, because he's averaging a 28.5 PRA his last 5 home games. And he's averaging a 24.5 PRA at home on the season. And not to mention, the last couple power forwards that Atlanta has played, they've allowed them to get this PRA. Siakam, 33 points. Gordon, 18 and 12. Wade for Cleveland had 16. Bagley for Detroit had 17 points. So I believe Jabari Smith will get this PRA. He had a bad game last game, only had 5 points. So he's probably going to have us bounce back in that situation. And I'm going to take Trae Young under 9.5 assists plus 104. The reason why I'm doing that, Mike, is because the Houston Rockets allow the fewest assists to the point guard position in the NBA. And they've only allowed one person to get double-digit assists on us at home. And that was Nikola Jokic. And we already know he leads the whole entire NBA in assists. So other than that, we have kept every other point guard under double-digit assists at home. So I believe that's a good spot. Trae Young under 9.5 assists plus 104. Jabari Smith, 24.5 PRA. And, of course, Houston Rockets, first half, -1.5.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Emptying the clip on that bitch. I like it, man. That's going to be fun. You're going to have a blast there tonight. You know what I like about that first half play if you're going to the game live is to get your money and feel good about yourself. To enjoy the rest of the game without the sweat that goes along. Just look for the points and have a good time with it. So good for you, man. That's going to be fun. I hope you have a blast out there tonight. I'll look for you on TV. I'll look for you out there. Maybe you hang up a sign that says last call or something like that. I don't know.
No, I won't
Shout out
there. I'll walk the sideline, see if y'all can see me on the sideline.
Ian Shaver, our guy, gifting another Pub Sports
Shout out.
Radio membership. Ian, my guy.
Ian.
Thank you so much.
Shout out
the
to
season, Ian, man. That's unbelievable. Dude, You've been doing it day in and day out, my guy. And I appreciate it a ton. I mean, listen, I hope you guys are, if you catch this one from our guy Ian today, man, make sure you pay it forward. Give our guy the shout out he deserves as well. That's a good dude that shows up here day in and day out, giving plays, positive attitude, positive energy, positive vibes, helping bless our action tonight with the gifted Pub Sports Radio membership. Shout out to you, Ian, my guy. Appreciate it. Thank you much. Let's keep it rolling tonight here. Let's get this next game on the docket for us here. Just a couple left, and then we're going to get our guy LJ moving on down in H-Town there to get to that game, get himself some good parking while he's out there. We got the LA Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks here. Another little in the state of Texas extravaganza tonight here. We got this line open up at -3.5. Now sitting down at 2 with 72% of the bets and 81% of the cash on the Clip Show. And it's moved a 1.5 towards the Mavericks. As far as the total, it opened at 240.5, 79% of the bets and 83% of the cash on the over. That's dropped 4 points to 236.5. LJ, is somebody sitting in this game that I'm not aware of?
No, I don't believe so. If nothing's came out as official as of late, but Dallas is dealing with a lot of injuries. So, but I don't know if that was enough to move the number. Oh, PG just got ruled out. That's what Sammy just said. So
okay. Thanks, Sammy. Thanks for sharing. I was looking at the number going, everyone's on the other side. It doesn't make, you don't see it very often where it's all that kind of cash on both numbers changed like that. That's supported that somebody was going to be sitting. So yeah, I see that he's questionable. I didn't see the official move on that yet. So appreciate you, Sammy Calmer. But I don't know if that changes your opinion on this game one way or not, LJ. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I figured he was going to be out anyway, just because he was questionable. So I capped the game with him being out. I did come to a side just because both teams, Dallas plays well at home, and the Clippers have been playing well as of late. So I didn't find a definitive advantage. The Clippers are 4-3 against the spread as a road favorite, 14-8-1 against the spread in the first quarter in their last 23 games. So they play very, very good early parts of the game. For us, Dallas, 6-1 against the spread in the first half, their last 7. So this easily could be a Clippers first quarter. Dallas comes back, second quarter, probably takes the lead, keeps it close in the first half. So I can easily see that. I also can see an over as well because Dallas is 18-8 to the over. So I can see a lot of points being scored just because Dallas have a lot of people out. So they let people score. I've seen them play. You could just go down the lane, score in Dallas. They're coming back out, so it's a fast-paced game. They don't play a lot of defense. They shoot the three a lot as well. So a lot of their points come from the three-point line. So, like I say, either team can win this game. The rivalry with Luka, he don't like the Clippers. He always likes to kill them when he approaches them. So another reason why I'm going to just jump on his points and just keep it simple. Over 36.5, -114. He's averaging 37 points the last 5 games. He's number 1 in PRA at home, with 54. So the fact that I do lean PRA as well and triple-double now, not to say that just to take all that. I'm not making all that official, but I just know that his numbers are very good at home. So, and he doesn't like the Clippers. So I would trust to just stick to the points. He's going to have to score considering he don't have Kyrie and he has a lot of limitations on his team. Now, the Clippers on their side, you can look at Kawhi Leonard's points. The fact that Paul George has just been ruled out. He's had 28-plus points 4 out of his last 5 games, but they pushed that number up to 29.5. So that means he has to get 30. So I believe it's a little bit too high. That's why I stayed off of it. Now, James Harden, over 8.5 assists, -124 is a good look because he's had 9 assists 5 out of his last 8 games, averaging 10 assists in the month of December. So he's playing well as well. So that's another look as well. But I'm going to jump on Zubac, over 10.5 rebounds, -130. He's hit this number in the last 2 games. And the fact that Dallas is very, very handicapped in the paint, Lively is out. Dwight Powell is the only center that they truly have. So if he gets in foul trouble, they're going to be limited on who they can bring in that paint. Kleber's out, their other power forward. So I think Zubac, it's going to be hard to keep him off the board tonight because he doesn't have any advantages to keep him off. So Zubac over 10.5 rebounds, I believe, is a sharp play. And, of course, Luka's points over 36.5, but no official side.
Got it. Like it. Like those plays, like those looks. when you start going multiple player props for me in the same game, I immediately start thinking I got to get a same game parlay together for that one as well. So I might have a little fun with that one too. Plus, we have a little bit of a later start for it, so that gives us the opportunity to get it going here. And we've got we're down to the nitty gritty here. We've got this Boston Celtics spot, and we've got the Celtics that are going to be continuing their West Coast road trip with the Sacramento Kings. The line opened at -2.5, now sitting at really a full-fledged flip here. And I believe it's the Tatum news, if I'm not mistaken, that changed this number for us here. It opened at -2.5. We're now seeing +3 for the Celtics, 46% of the bets, 58% of the cash on the Celtics, and it's moved 6 points against them. So interesting enough, you look at the total, 231.5 is the open, sitting at 236 is now 82% of the bets and 79% of the cash on the over. LJ, what do you think here? Is there anything in this game that intrigues you? What are your where you want to get to the paint on?
Yeah, I'm very intrigued, and I'm on the Kings. Full game, -2.5. Boston coming off a back-to-back in overtime as well. You don't have Tatum, so I believe that's your best player. So the fact that they're handicapping that way on the road on a back-to-back versus a team that's been at home rested, I just believe they have the advantage. So yeah, not to get to the numbers. Boston 2-8-2 against the spread on the road. They're 1-4-1 against the spread. Their last 6 on the road as well. So they've been playing very bad. This is their first game as a road dog. So we can see how they respond as a dog on the road. But when they were favorite, they're 2-8-2 against the spread. So very horrible record there. Now, Boston starts off very early. They're 19-6 against the spread in the first half. But the first quarter, they're 11-2 straight up the last 13. So if you want to take them early, it's considering that the legs are going to tire out towards the later of the game. That's why I chose the confidence to just take the Kings full game. Because I believe Boston, who's to say they come out early, have some energy to try to keep the game close because they know eventually Kings are probably going to wear them down and put the full throttle on them third quarter, fourth quarter. So that's how my philosophy was. Not to mention the Kings are 3-0 at home versus the East. 6-2 in their last 8 games, 5-0 against the spread, their last 5 home games. So perfect advantage, man. Not to mention they're 5-1 against the spread at home, the last 10 in the first half. So they play well in the first half as well at home. So either one you can take, but I just trust full game Kings -2.5.
How many points do you think is Tatum is worth in the lineup? He's 25-point guy, probably 30-point guy.
25 to 30 at least.
So I was looking at this over, and I guess I'm just trying to decide, is it still, the number hasn't moved from when the announcement was made. So the fact that they're still kind of sitting on this number, from when I put this together earlier today to now, it's been about 3 hours or so. And the Tatum news came in just after I sent it in. So the total hasn't moved given that Tatum factor out there. Teams with no rest when they're off a road game that went into overtime. This kind of speaks to what you were talking about, where do they want to keep it tight first, right? So an unrested road team that just came off an overtime are 20-0-1 to the over. It's gone over by 16.71 points a game if the total is more than 212. So interesting spot there to see a 20-0 to the over and going over comfortably by 17 points. I just wondering, is this Tatum factor too much to be out of there? I almost want to flip gears and go to your Kings side of things here.
And not to mention the Kings are 10-3 to the over as a home team. So those numbers are saying it's going to go over because they're looking at a blowout. You know what I'm saying? Right. So the Kings can put up 130, 40 points, push that number up.
I was thinking that too, like a 133 to 110 type of game. And it goes over to 245, 246, which is right in line with that number. So, all right, I'm going to stick with it. I got the 236. I laid it out there earlier. I'm going to stick with it, LJ. Let's go. That's the NBA card for us tonight. I know you got yourself a busy night ahead, and I can't thank you enough for coming in here Wednesday, rocking and rolling with us here. Velakut says it's Fox's birthday today. Fox over 30.5 points. I love the look. You guys have such great looks and creativity, man. That's what it comes down to. I'm writing that one down too. Let's rock and roll.
I'm doubling up on it now. I'm going first half full game now, but I'm only making official full game. But
I love it. That's a great look. Thanks for sharing,
Thank you
there. We appreciate you and everybody else that rock and roll with us tonight here. Our guy LJ dropping in on Wednesday, blessing us with his card tonight. I got LJ with the Indiana first quarter -3.5. Scotty Barnes over 34.5 PRA. LBJ over 36.5 points and assists. Kobe White, the cash man, 34.5 PRA. Houston Rockets first half -1.5. Jabari Smith over 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Trae Young under 9.5 assists at a nice little plus money spot there. Luka over 36.5 points. Zubac over 10.5 rebounds, and the Kings at -2.5. Does that sound about right, LJ?
Yes, sir. You hit it right on the number.
My guy, I appreciate you dropping in with us tonight. And again, I know a lot of card to get into. It's a tough thing to get in here. We keep a brisk pace, but my guy knows his shit, and he's firing off bullets like that tonight for us. And going to have himself a great night down there watching his Rockets get that first cash money for him, LJ. Tell them what you got cooking this week, where they can find you, what's going down, and how we're going to find you next.
Hey, man, they can find me on, of course, Twitter at LJ Sports Media. You can find me right here on Pub Sports Radio. Right after your show, I'm going to do a nice appearance on the NBA show while I'm down there. So, little surprise, just want to keep that unnoticed. But, yeah, I'll be on the show next. Stay here, Pub Sports Radio. We will be rocking on this NBA card, getting some plays, getting some money, and, of course, watching my Rockets cash that first half, Mike. So, till next time. Appreciate you for letting me come on once again, man. And, of course, I will be rocking with you next Wednesday. So book me in, and let's get this cash.
My guy, LJ. Appreciate him dropping in here. And all of you guys and gals in the chat here rocking with us tonight. At last call, the fix is in, says Lively's out. Ian with another gifted membership, my guy Ian. Appreciate you so much. And, of course, Valacoot's giving us the birthday news. There's our guy, Smoke and Mirrors. Smoke and Mirrors says, you going to be on All About the Hoops? No, I'm not going to be on All About the Hoops, but make sure you guys get out there and check it out. These boys are ready to rock. It's going to be a great spot. They're going to handicap some college basketball for you with Dabby Cab. They're going to give you some NBA looks with our man, Dutch Boy Fresh. You know what they do out there. They brick that bread, and then they smash them over the head, and it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. If you haven't seen it already, go back out there. They cashed some big tickets last week, and they're going to run it back again today. Loopy, you too. What's going on? The fix is in. Sammy Calmer, our guy, dropped in there tonight. Don Play, Chosen One, likes that first half under 71.5 spot there for, I'm not sure which game that is. There's Loopy says Tatum out, Horford out. Yeah, that's going to be a little tricky spot for us there. But again, I appreciate everybody rocking here. We're going to get up out of here. Let the boys get in there to do their thing over on All About the Hoops. Shout out to our guy, Jose Bouquet. I see him back there rocking and rolling, doing his thing. And appreciate. There he is.
Hello, Mike. It's nice to see you. Yeah, it's nice to see you. Apologize for the tardiness. Yeah, it's nice to see you, obviously. Yeah, me and T got mixed up on time, so apologize for being here a little late, not for the start of the show, but it's nice to see you. It gave me a panic attack, but we made it work out. It's a beautiful time.
Hey, we help each other out. We lift each other up, and I appreciate you dropping in, making your first appearance here on Last Call at the Wire. So we appreciate you, man. Thanks.
Of course. We're both on the Capitals tonight, by the way, Mike. So it's very exciting stuff. Come on, Capitals.
That's so. Let's go, Caps. It should be a good spot for the old man lineup out there to go out there and knock it down. So hopefully they can go out there and gas out those tired legs from those New York Islanders tonight. But it should be a ton of fun, man. Thanks for dropping in and getting T to get himself a nice little birthday here. Happy birthday to our guy T. And Jose coming through saying, "Go have a nice birthday, T. He's going to take you. He's got your back." And that's what Jose's all about. He's got your back. And if you're nice to him, the rumor is he might even pick you up from the airport when you go down to Southtown 101. Mm-hmm. Let's go. Bubba Palooza.
Just let me know, Mike. Just let me know. I'll pick you up in my expired registration sticker.
Perfect. We'll ride dirty, man. We'll ride dirty. It's all good. Jose, I appreciate you a ton, man. Appreciate everybody that dropped into the show today, and appreciate you guys all, man. You know what it is? Same time, same place tomorrow. It's Last Call, 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going to get up out of there. Shout out to UTSA Roadrunners for the big victory last night there. The big first bowl game win in the season history. Shout out to our guy, Jose. We'll be good. We'll be good. We'll be back. We'll be pubbing. Get that cash, everybody. See you next time.